Welcome, welcome viewers to yet another episode of Kahani Kashmir ki Toichu Sarni Meon yani Deepika Zutshi Hun Hat Hat Namaskar. Today we have a very special show because I want you to meet somebody who has personally been very inspirational to me. So when I started talking with Sugam a few weeks ago, I have known her for a while as a young girl, being the young girl that she was in California. And suddenly I was filled with this new enlightenment and respect for Sugam. And you will find out why as we go through our conversation. You will find out why she was such an inspiration to me, as she will be to all of you. So without further ado, let's meet Sugam Tiku from California. Welcome to the show, Sugam.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here and really excited to chat with you today. Thank you so much for having me on your show today.
Of course, the honor is all ours. So thank you for your time. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Let's start at the very beginning. Tell me a little bit about your childhood. You were born in India but grew up in California. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, absolutely. So I was born in Bangalore, India, and I moved to the US when I was just 1 year old. And so I grew up in California pretty much my entire life. It was always wonderful to be able to go back to India. I would say probably every single year I had the opportunity to go back. So I did all of my schooling here in California. I went to high school here. I went to college in California as well. Still live in California. So yeah, I would say pretty much brought up here, but again, my heart goes out to India always. It's always there. So yeah.
Great. So tell me a little bit. So let's jump right into the reason why you and I are here today. I wanted you to talk about Warriors for Empowerment. So tell me a little bit about what inspired you. Was there a certain episode, an incident in your life? Tell me a little bit about the background of what was going on in your life, and then how did you then become involved with Warriors for Empowerment?
Yes, absolutely. So for me, starting this nonprofit organization has always been a dream since I was a teenager. I think I was only 13 years old, and there were several incidents that took place in my life. Especially when I would visit back in India, which inspired me to do something beyond the corporate life and beyond the corporate career that I have. So as I said, I was born in India and I had just moved here when I was 1 year old, but we would always go back with my family every single summer for our vacations in India. So we would always travel back, whether it was to visit relatives or family, friends, or even enjoy weddings. Indian weddings are obviously the most fun experience that there is. But there was another side to all of this fun and meeting relatives and, being there during my summer breaks, which kind of clenched my heart. So I was always the cousin when we would go out to different eateries or, tourist attractions or just going and having fun. I would always be the person in the group that I was in where kids would just come up to me and they would start asking me for a few rupees. And, it's like I always had this inclination always to give back as well. And, I always luckily had a few rupees in my pocket. And so for me, this story of mine began ever since I was in India visiting there. At our family weddings, I always remember I would be taking leftover food from the weddings and that I had attended, and I would give it to the beggars on the street. And a few times I even got scolded for it. Like my uncle would come out and be like, "What are you doing?" And, various people caught me doing this. And I think for me, I knew that I was doing something right. And I knew that I was doing something correct. So it didn't matter to me if I got scolded a little bit. And yeah, so, so many things happened to me as a teenager in India. And as I grew older, I realized that those few rupees that I had in my pocket make all the difference in the world for these kids in India. But that was just temporary support and temporary help. If I gave them an opportunity for education, then they could grow up and they could uplift their families from poverty. So that cycle would end. So I think from that incident of giving those rupees during my teenage years, as I grew older into college, I had a vision that I definitely wanted to do something much more for them, which will end that cycle of poverty. And so I began Warriors for Empowerment.
Oh, that's fantastic. So tell me about the time when so this is great. This is your inspiration, and now you're wanting to do something. A lot of people have those thoughts in their minds. Most people are not able to execute those. So once you started thinking about this, tell me how Warriors for Empowerment came about. Tell me the first initial baby steps. What did you do? How did you make it work and make it happen and make it actually a part of these kids' lives? How did this happen? Tell me a little bit about the initial phases.
Yes, absolutely. So I would say the way that this began is me and my husband and a group of friends, we would have conference calls with various people in India who are within our trusted network of people, and kind of share this vision that, although we are here in the US, we really want to come together and partner with people in India. And so these conference calls first started off as, just some social chats and what's going on in India, what's going on in California. And then it slowly became kind of a vision of establishing strong partnerships in India. And it moved towards, here's a dream, and how do we start identifying kids in India who could benefit from Warriors for Empowerment?
Right.
So these fun-filled conference calls started becoming more about strategy and, identifying people whose background will match what Warriors for Empowerment's vision is, and, also picking the right children from the right spot. So I think that first spark was conference calls, just a group of people with a similar vision who want to partner with each other. We all shared a very similar vision. It was just a matter of getting those steps down together.
Uh-huh, that's fantastic. So tell me a little bit about how do you pick the kids that you do want to help? Because, we both know India population, very high, needy kids, a lot. How do you make sure that your help and your vision reaches the right people and the people who really need it the most?
Yes, absolutely. So for our selection process and for how do we execute this vision on a monthly basis, it's been 4 years now with Warriors for Empowerment. So in any given month, we receive several applications. The way that this works is the leadership team from California has partnered with certain schools in India, and so we only work with those schools. And similarly, all of our directors, they are chosen because they come from educational backgrounds. They have coaching institutions. They have a very strong sense of how, to coach and mentor and guide kids in India. Two of our directors were actually former IIT coaches. So, it's so wonderful to have everybody aligned together for this common goal. And all of the applications that we receive on a monthly basis, we basically come together as a team, and we identify based on certain criterias that we have, being kids ages 5 to 18 years old. The family household income has to be 100,000 rupees or less. We have to have a formal interview call with them. We have to meet them in person. So we have all of these designated criteria. Once we are able to align and match that, we essentially actually select that kid for Warriors for Empowerment.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that is fantastic. So let me take a little break from asking you questions and ask you to give me a practical plug here. So, if we obviously have a wide media reach through this show, tell us, if I know of somebody who I feel is a needy kid back in India, what is the process? You said, they will fill out an application. Who do they approach? Who do they write to? Give me some information and tips over here.
Yes, absolutely. So right now, our project and our partnerships with the schools in India
Mm-hmm.
are in Haryana,
Mm-hmm.
Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Delhi, and Andhra Pradesh. And so we are
Mm-hmm.
expanding in these states. And
Mm-hmm.
those, if somebody does want to be involved with Warriors for Empowerment and they do have a child, what
Mm-hmm.
they would do is they would email us their application at
Mm-hmm.
warriorsforempowerment@gmail.com. They would email it to us. We would have a conversation with
Mm-hmm.
them. And our goal at Warriors for Empowerment is always to get the child into one of those designated schools. So
Mm-hmm.
that is
Mm-hmm.
the way we work. We are also looking to expand in Mumbai and Bangalore. We
Mm-hmm.
have two new directors who have joined our team who are working at the grassroots level. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the way to do this, with all of the people who might be watching today, if they want to, if they have a child that is in need, definitely to reach out to us and submit we would give a child application process, a student application form
Mm-hmm.
that they could then
Mm-hmm.
fill out.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. So, for the viewers who did not catch that email address, it's warriorsforempowerment@gmail.com. Right, Sugam?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
that's it.
perfect. Perfect. Thank you. So okay, let's go to a little bit to how are you finding people? How are you finding like-minded people who are sharing your vision? So tell me a little bit about, if I'm somebody who wants to share and join in your vision and want to help Warriors for Empowerment, how would I do that? And what are some of the needs that you guys have?
Yes, absolutely. So I would say, I always feel all the people who come into our organization, they always come at that specific time that it's meant to be based on their skill set, based on the need that we have. And our team is growing. We now have 55 volunteers in the US and we have 15 volunteers in India. And I think for us, how we identify and how we meet everybody is through word of mouth, through referrals, through word of mouth, and through our newsletters. So we publish newsletters on a monthly basis, and it goes to about 4,000 people across globally. And we always get somebody responding back to us saying like, hey, I'm good with social media, or I'm good with marketing or writing or blogging, and do you have this need? And I will say 90% of the time, the answer is yes. So yeah, the beautiful thing is newsletters still have a lot of power. I think a lot of us are more reliant on WhatsApp and text messages and social media, but newsletters have so much power. Collectively, through our whole team, we're able to touch 400 people's inbox and 4,000 people's inbox. And it's just wonderful. People share, we have all sorts of knowledge set in our team. So we have social media, marketing, design, website development, videography, photography, event management, so many different. We had a teenager who joined our team just 4 years ago. Her name is Pearl Rana. And so she started Paint and Sip for us. And it's been like an event that everybody in the Bay Area always talks about. So, I always go back to that thing. We all are interconnected. And if somebody really wants to join our team, we definitely have something for them to help work on.
That's fantastic. Actually, that was going to be my next question: is what are the methodologies? Do you fundraise? You said about Paint and Sip with Pearl Rena. She's a well-known Kashmiri artist in the Kashmiri community in the Bay Area too, and very, very inspirational. We've interviewed her for this show actually, and And so tell me a little bit about what are some of the fundraising opportunities that you have that, people could participate in if they don't want something long term, if they want to help contribute just a little bit occasionally. What are some of the opportunities for that?
Yes, absolutely. So I think for Warriors for Empowerment, over this last 4 years, we've done a variety of fundraiser workshops. So we have done anything from paint and sip with Pearl to Bollywood dance workshops, Bhangra dance workshops. We've had a kid who did a lemonade stand and a cupcake drive and raised $300 for us. So, it's so amazing that everybody has such different ideas and talents. And they bring that to the table. We also are part of various Indian ethnic South Asian festivals here in the Bay Area. And
Mhm.
go out and, we try to do fundraiser drives, fundraiser awareness, and also recruit new volunteers because festivals attract a lot of corporate people as well as high schoolers. So
Mhm.
we have
Mhm.
virtual fundraiser events, we have in person, we host an annual gala every year.
Mhm.
Last year, our gala had Saregama contestants who were part of Saregama. They
Nice.
came and they helped us for
Uh-huh.
this charitable, charity for a cause and help raise funds for kids in India.
Uh-huh. That's fantastic. So what I'm hearing you say, Sugam, is that age really is no bar. You have volunteers that are teenagers, high schoolers, and I'm sure, adults. So it almost feels like this is something that, parents and kids could do together, and it's really wide open. It's not like you have to be a certain age or a certain experience. It's what, it's your passion that you bring to the cause. Would
Yes.
you say? Good.
Absolutely. I would say that what you said is exactly how our organization is structured. We have anywhere from 10-year-old to corporate professionals and beyond, even retired. Like I said, one of our directors from India is actually a former professor from University of Delhi, and now retired part of our organization. So we really do span like a wide kind of across the spectrum. I think it's more about your skills, talent, and passion, and aligning with our vision.
Uh-huh. That's fantastic. Okay, tell me a little bit, Sugam, about, so you said Warriors for Empowerment is 4 years old. So I would say it's still a budding organization, and hopefully, you guys can take it to where you want to take it. So tell me a little bit about where you want to take it. So talk to me about 4 years from now. What is your vision for the organization, and where are you planning to take this?
Yes, absolutely. So our vision, 5 years from today, if we were to look at Warriors for Empowerment, we are trying to expand into various states in India, and we're getting a lot of people who are joining our team with a specific expertise, and so they're able to help us expand projects not only with children but also women's empowerment. One of our directors who just joined, she's from Bangalore. She had an idea to do simple stitching projects for women who are battered and abused. So 5 years from today, what our dream and our bigger vision is to really support children as well as women and family members who have gone through, a lot of trivial situations in their life, a lot of suffering, and they require our support. They have the determination and they have that ability to do certain things like stitching or like arts and handicraft. And
Mhm.
so we really are foreseeing ourselves to move towards more, larger projects in multiple states across India. And of course, our dream and our mission is we really want to educate maybe 500 to 1,000 children, 5 years from today in each and every state in India. That is our dream and vision.
That is fantastic. Tell me a little bit about how many kids have, how many kids are you currently working with, and how many have? Tell me a little bit about the kids. I am all about the kids. I, have a background in education, and I feel very strongly about that. And so, kids are, huge for me. So talk to me about the kids. Tell me about, and if you have, personal anecdotes or life stories, tell me something about the kids and the kids who've graduated from your programs and projects, and what are they doing now? I'm very excited to hear about that.
Yes, absolutely. So one story that definitely there's so many kids that I can talk about. There's definitely one that stands out for me. We have one child. Her name is Tanvi, and when she first came to us and we started interviewing her, her father told us that she has very advanced level reading skills. And when our directors went to visit her at her home, they found out that just at 5 years old, she was picking up very advanced level books that have, some really advanced concepts. And it was just so amazing to see such a young girl in this village doing these things, in addition to helping her father and mother earn some income, right, on the side, doing like labor. And her father always dreamed of educating his daughter, but he never had the opportunity because he's a farmer and he doesn't have enough funds. And so when we went to visit his father, we found out that a lot of people in the village, didn't really like this idea of him empowering his daughter and really putting himself out there, saying that my daughter needs to be educated so that she can have a better life than they did. And a lot of things that we've noticed with these kids is they have such an amazing passion, such an amazing drive. They're so brilliant. But if they don't have that support of the parents, if they don't have either the man or the woman in the family really saying, you can go for it, it becomes very difficult. So the amazing thing is she's been with us for 4 years now. And she is part of, we have youth ambassador leaders here in California and Kentucky who are actually working with her and working with 20 other kids. So we hope to get more people involved with Pen Pal, but in villages, it's tough to get the letters sent across. So right now, it's easy to just do the 20, a handful of kids. And this Pen Pal program idea, we first began with Anvi, actually, which is our child in India. This idea of Pen Pal program began 2 years ago from our youth leaders, Saisha and Siddhi. And the Pen Pal program is for all of our kids ages 10 to 17 years old in India. And we have so many kids in India, they've never had the chance to hold a letter from a Didi or a Bhaiya in America. So it was so beautiful to see our kids, not just beyond the interview, beyond the in-person home visits, to see them just like dwell in the fact that, they're 14 years old and there's a 14-year-old in America who wants to write a letter to them. And these letters in these 4 years have become lottery tickets. Literally, that's we get for them. Yeah. It's such a beautiful thing. If we think about how it is in America, like, for kids here, for teenagers, like video games or getting a new outfit or getting like a gift card is something super big. But for all of the Warriors kids, those Pen Pal letters from Saisha and Siddhi mean like everything to them, and these Pen Pal letters that each of our kids get, they get like cute little postcards and beautiful and inspirational experiences. And then they share a lot about their story. Like Anvi, in her Pen Pal letter, shared that, the people make fun of me, like I'm just a girl. And it's like she's actually writing this out to somebody that became her Didi here. And I think that's part of the relationship building, right? Like beyond the support, beyond educating kids, it's about building that one-on-one relationship with them and helping them overcome these things. So when they go to school, they see a very empowered society for women and girls. But then when they come back home to their villages, it's a whole different dynamics. So that's where the Warriors volunteer team comes in and, helps them to overcome those barriers as much as possible.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And Tanvi, if you're watching this show, congratulations and keep going, keep being amazing. Do awesome things in life. Obviously, with the help and support of Sugam and her family at Warriors for Empowerment. You guys are doing some amazing work out there. Um, all right. So tell me a little bit, Sugam, about. I want to talk. We talked a little bit about the kids. We talked about your inspiration. Tell me a little bit. I want to get into your thoughts now a little bit. What is it that keeps you going? A lot of people, a lot of times will think of an idea you thought of an idea, dreamt a dream, and executed that vision too, which, like I said before, a lot of people aren't able to do even that. And you were able to execute that. A lot of people, especially young people like you, will sometimes get over it and be like, oh yeah, I used to do that, I'm done, I'm moving on to other things, bigger and better things, shiny corporate job, oh, I just found a new place and I'm done. What is it that keeps you going? Why do you keep waking up every day and coming back to this vision and this dream and sticking with this passion? What is it about this that keeps you going?
Yes. So I would say, being so grateful to live here in Silicon Valley, as you said, beyond that dream job and that dream car. I think once we get to that point in life where we've kind of achieved all of that, we try to look for something else. And that something else always comes back to passion and how do we give back to society, right? So there are so many different ways of giving back. I think for me, it was always about education. I grew up in a family where education was always stressed, very importantly from a young age. Like I wasn't allowed to watch the TV until I finished the homework, and if I got an A grade, obviously I would get much more than, if I got any other grade letter. And I think this level of discipline and upbringing of education being so important to me, I felt that I wanted to give back to the kids in India because although I was born there and I came here, that could have quite essentially been me. I could have been that person not in Silicon Valley. I could have been that person not in the corporate job. There's more to life than just that dream car and corporate. And I think I just realized that at a very young age because I did so much volunteering when I was in high school. And I realized that that is really where you get your happiness and you get your passion. You follow your passion, you follow your dream and vision, and people are going to always pass so many comments and judgments like, you're too young, or like, you won't be able to do it, because you live here. And so these are all limiting beliefs that people put on you. And I think I've always felt from a very young age that we should always follow our passion. We should move along that way. And actually, people join you because they also have a similar passion. Like all of our directors in India, it's so beautiful how we've met all of them. And they have these amazing educational backgrounds. And we learn from them, they learn from us. And so I think for everybody at the end of the day is always just follow your passion and shut out the noise of society.
Yeah. Two really insightful things that I just learned from you. One being, don't listen to the naysayers. Don't listen to the negative things that people tell you. Just follow your dream, chart your path, and do what you feel is the right thing to do. That was one important thing that I learned. The second thing that you said, again, was very beautiful and insightful, is that this is not just a one-way street. It's not just Warriors for Empowerment or you helping the underprivileged kids back in India. It's a two-way street, is what I heard you say. Everybody learns from each other and everybody grows in the process. And that is just so beautiful. I have goosebumps just thinking about the fact that, you come from a place of privilege and yet you are so humble in that you are saying that this is still an ongoing learning experience for you, and not just something that you are giving, you are getting back also, which is so beautiful and so insightful to have that feeling at your age, and so young that you are. So congratulations to you, and good luck. I hope that Warriors for Empowerment just takes off and continues to do the wonderful work that you are doing.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, and since this is a show for Kashmiris, Kahani Kashmir ki, of course, I wanted the viewers to see what young Kashmiri kids are doing these days. Be they in India, be they here in the U.S. Just wonderful work that everybody's doing. So tell me a little bit about your Kashmiri background, and tell me what your. I ask this to all of my guests. What's your favorite Kashmiri food?
My favorite Kashmiri food is definitely the malu. That is my absolute favorite Kashmiri food. Just tar, pila chawal, and the malu is definitely my favorite.
That sounds wonderful. I used to wait for my birthdays just for that.
Yes. And here in California, everybody has the malu on their menu, but I always go to the original source, and the original source is my mother and my
Bingo.
aunts. Nobody can make it like them.
That is so true. Just the Yeah, I totally agree. And every family has, that one person who is an amazing cook, and it's just wonderful to be able to get those treats from that family.
Yes.
Um, awesome. So before we end today, Sugam, is there anything else that you would like to share with us while we have you? Is there anything that you want to put out there for our viewers?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I would say, definitely I would like to end with, all of us have some way that we want to give back to the world. And for the viewers who are here today, if you feel that you would like to help and, inspire and educate and empower children in India, and you're looking for a way to give back, definitely think about joining our volunteer team, and together we can make a positive difference and really help out these kids in villages across India. But yeah, thank you so much.
Of course, we are so grateful for the wonderful work that you're doing. And you're not just making us proud that you are, Kashmiri, you're a Kashmiri girl, you're a young Kashmiri girl. There are so many factors that we are proud of you for all of the work that you are doing. And we really appreciate it. And I would say keep going, and congratulations on the wonderful work.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. And it was really grateful to be here today. I appreciate this opportunity to chat with you. Thank you.
Of course. And to all the viewers who are watching us today, thank you for your time. We really appreciate you spending the time with us today to learn a little bit about the work that Sugam Tiku has been doing with Warriors for Empowerment. And I hope that you were not only inspired by this conversation, but also that you will be motivated to help Warriors for Empowerment out in any possible way that you can. Reach out to Sugam, reach out to Warriors for Empowerment, and do the best you can. And if you need any help from the Warriors for Empowerment people, we have Sugam right here, and feel free to reach out to them. We gave you the email address, warriorsforempowerment@gmail.com. So reach out to them and help somebody in need. Take inspiration from the fact that Sugam used her place of privilege in life to not just make her own life better, but make the lives of hundreds and thousands of people better. Let's take inspiration in these troubled times. Let's take that inspiration from this conversation and move on and make somebody else's life better. So thank you for watching today.